Following the disappointment of Season 1, I made this video where I literally designed an entire season in hopes that Blizzard would hire me. What's funny is if you watch that video, which came out way before any details about Season 2 were released, you'll probably notice a ton of details similar to what eventually happened, meaning one of three things. I'm a prophet, Blizzard stole some ideas from me without giving credit, or, the most likely of the three, a little bit of parallel thinking was going on. So here I am to try and get Blizzard to hire me once again as a special counsel or something like that, so that Diablo, the IP I hold very near and dear to my heart, will become a game worthy of its own microtransaction prices. Let's begin. The Season of Lineage. There have been a series of ominous sightings of perished heroes across the land of Sanctuary. A team of archaeologists catches wind of these sightings and are afraid of the deadly rumors surrounding them, that these perished heroes challenge any and all who seem fit for combat, slaying them mercilessly from the sound of things. They aim to hire brave heroes, and you, who has saved humanity from Lilith, agree on the grounds that the archaeologists will share newly discovered fonts of long-lost strength with you. Within the dungeons found by clearing strongholds, most of the archaeology team perishes to an ancient hero of Aria's summit, and there he reveals time is of the essence and tries to enlist your help after sparring with you. Why? Well, he goes on to explain that the eldest heroes hold the belief that weakness should be culled from the bloodline so as not to sully the honor and prestige of their lineage, and without the strength that naturally comes about from valuing combat prowess above all, that the prime evils would bring devastation and destruction to the world of Sanctuary. Ultimately, their intentions are the unending prosperity of humanity and the defeat of the Hell's evils. Yes, but there's no way you can turn a blind eye to such brutal means to achieve seemingly just ends. But the eldest heroes are too powerful in comparison to you, a weakened descendant who has lost their connection to their Nephilim ancestry and powers. You'll have to defeat various heroes from folklore, myths, and legends to manifest their heroic essence through you, unlocking your dormant Nephilim powers in stages as you defeat ascendingly powerful rivals. Great powers that were once able to slay angels and demons alike, powers that could once tip the scales in the eternal conflict, until eventually the elder heroes, firstborn of the progenitors, Lilith and Inarius, sense their plan to grow humanity's strength is threatened, and the fate of Sanctuary along with it. In the Season of Lineage, subclasses will be introduced to the game. Generally, these subclasses will expand further on the idea of key passives found at the bottom of skill trees. There would be a brand new subclass skill tree that would look sorta like this. Furthermore, these subclasses will each specialize in giving great strength by taking on a great weakness. For example, a Beastmaster subclass for Druid would make all direct damage dealt by the Druid be 75% less, while companions and their skills would deal 75% more, have 40% increased lucky hit chance, 30% increased cooldown reduction, and 20% increased movement speed and attack speed. And that would simply be the initial boon from choosing that subclass as opposed to the other subclasses on offer. Diving deeper, there would be unique like effects that could be picked from inside the subclass skill tree. As a few examples for Druid, physical damage conversion to lightning, poison, or earth damage nodes, a you're always at 100% fortify node, a your companions are aggressive node, which would make them actively seek out and attack the nearest visible enemy within a certain traveling distance, without you having to intervene in any way, with various connecting nodes that you have to put points into in order to allocate those more major unique effects. And even those connecting nodes could be interesting if they gave flat armor or flat health or resists or movement speed or any stat, to be honest. Onto the content that would be added alongside the seasonal storyline. There will be a few more dungeons added to the game. There will be trials, as well as extending the boss ladder with more uber bosses. Let's talk about the new dungeons since those were mentioned earlier. Every stronghold that currently does not have a dungeon available to run after being cleared will have one added to it, that each house the heroes of Lineage to unlock the points for subclass progression. Now onto expanding the boss ladder. The Elder Heroes, each entirely distinct, will be the first pinnacle bosses in Diablo 4 that are over level 100. Each Elder Hero will have a chance to drop versions of their own gear onto the ground. So let's say there's a Huntress Amazonian type hero. Her bow, dagger, and necklace would probably be insanely strong and build defining. A Warrior Paladin type hero, their shield, sword, and cuirass. A Sage type hero, their offhand catalyst, a ring, and a magical talking hat. To access these heroic bosses, you'll need to prove that you're an adequate challenge by offering a unique drop drop from especially strong enemies, like a world boss, the Butcher, Kixarth the Helltide Assassin, basically anything that's marked on the minimap with a giant horned skull. Now, onto the final part of the season, Trials. All heroes, once defeated, will go into an alternative inventory space that contains their essence, and you can put any amount of these into a certain pedestal to summon stronger versions of them, since they learned from the previous defeat at your hands. You can place up to 5 of these into this pedestal, and the harder the challenge and the higher level of the essences, the greater the rewards, with an increasingly higher chance of dropping uber uniques from them, and of course an additional chance at dropping the Elder Heroes unique items if you choose to challenge them in their uber form. Beware all ye who enter. This content should be nigh impossible if you choose to fight 5 Uber Elder Heroes at once. And that's the season of Lineage. Hopefully itemization changes would come alongside the season, as well as the implementation of at least the simplest of loot filters. And then, wow, Diablo 4 would be sitting really pretty in terms of what it has on offer. Blizzard, feel free to hire me on as a special content advisor to make sure that Diablo 4 heads in the best direction possible for casual, normal, and veteran players alike. Or just sponsor me or whatever. If you are not affiliated with Blizzard's talent scouting teams, just go ahead, like, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts about all this in the comments below so that maybe someone with some pull will see it and get me in the door. You know? Alright, thanks for watching. I'm outie.